don't have the surgery without really thinking this through. Hi guys, hi. I'm back as I promised, and as I said in my previous video, I'm not going to try to make too many edits in this video because I feel like this is an important topic to talk about. So I'm just going to try to edit it as little as I possibly can. But as I promised, I'm back with another update about my second SRS revision. And I'm going to talk about it from the beginning. About 9 years ago, I had my bottom surgery, my SRS, the GRS. The surgery has many names. And after a year, I had my first revision, and that is kind of standard. I would say many people have a revision 1 year after getting the SRS. However, as I said in my earlier video, I had a second revision 3 weeks ago, and it's healing nicely and all of that, but I'm going to get to that. But as I said, I had my bottom surgery 9 years ago, I think, and I have talked about the complications that occurred after having the bottom surgery, and there were not really major complications that I suffered with, but there were a few mishaps here and there. However, that is kind of common. It is a major surgery, and having the surgery will change your life forever. And it is important to be prepared for that and to think about that. I was always under the impression that having the bottom surgery would not really affect my life like 9 years after the fact that I had the surgery. I mean, obviously I knew that it was going to affect me forever. I wanted to have the bottom surgery. I wanted to be complete. Like, I wanted to be fully me. What I'm saying, I didn't really think about the complications that might happen down the road. And I'm not saying that complications like this happen for everyone, but it is important to really think about these things before having the surgery. And I'm telling you right now, don't have the surgery before really thinking about these things and being prepared. But yeah, as I said, I had the SRS 9 years ago. I had a few complications, nothing major. I knew that I was going to have to dilate for the rest of my life, and I was kind of up for that task. I mean, 9 years after the fact that I had the bottom surgery, I don't have to dilate nearly as much. But yeah, I have talked about this before, so fast forward to 1 year ago to my second revision and why I actually had it. But before I'm continuing talking about that, this video is actually in sponsorship with Cheese. And what is Cheese? Cheese is actually a company, a brand that sells electric toothbrushes. And I have never actually used an electric toothbrush before. I know, like, who am I? So I was really happy when they, oh my god, I can't open the box. So I was really happy when they reached out to me and wanted to give me one of these. I'm in love. I'm never going back to a normal toothbrush after this. And something else that really struck me about Cheese is how affordable they are compared to other electric toothbrushes out there. Like, I've never actually gotten one myself just because they're so expensive, but these are so affordable and they're amazing. As you can see, I'm already using this one and my fiance is using the other. And also I got this travel sized bag with me. It's actually very cute, and that means I can just like travel with it and such. Very convenient. And something else that is also very convenient is this can actually live up to 300 days per charging, which is honestly amazing. I hate charging things. And I just love everything. It comes with 3 modes. You can change these and just like purchase more on their website. That was very difficult. But yeah, you can just switch this head brush very easily, and then you press this button right here and there are 3 modes. And it's going crazy. But honestly, I recommend this so, like, from the bottom of my heart. I'm very sincere when I'm talking about this. Honestly, it is 100% recommended from me. I'm never going back to a normal toothbrush after this. So don't forget Cheese. And something else, I got you a 30 30% discount on cheese. If you use Mathilda 30 and click the link down below or in my top comment, you will get yourself a 30% discount. Mathilda 30 and click the links down below. But without further ado, let's get into the rest of this very important video. But yeah, as I said, 3 weeks ago, I had my second revision after getting the SRS, and that is not really typical for you to get. And it all started around 1 year ago. I started having trouble peeing, and I had pains in my bladder when peeing, and sometimes during the day. And I was really embarrassed to talk about this, if I'm going to be completely honest. I never mentioned it on my YouTube channel or online or really to anyone except my fiance. And I was really ashamed, and I walked around with it for quite a while before getting help, before going to the doctors. After a few months, I went to the doctors. They did some tests and they told me that I had an infection. However, it was pretty rare infection, which is why I didn't really have the typical symptoms you get when you have that sort of infection. Yeah, I got on antibiotics. However, the pain didn't really go away completely. I mean, most of the pain disappeared. However, I still had trouble peeing. It took a few more months before I went back to the doctors just because I was so embarrassed. And while all of this happened, I didn't really want to talk about it on my YouTube channel. Just as I said, I didn't really think it had anything to do with my YouTube channel or my transition as a whole. But yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to get to that later. So I went back to the doctors, and they told me that my urethra was closing up, and they didn't really know why. And it didn't even occur to me that this was like a side effect because of the surgery I had so many years ago. Like, I have been living kind of complication free or like side effect free or symptom free. I don't know how to put it. Like, I've been living my life pretty normally for the last 7-8 years since I had the revision, and nothing has really happened down there. It's been quite quiet in that department, so to speak. I mean, I have had a few pains and aches down there, but that is pretty common, like even years after having the surgery, just because like nerve endings are still trying to find each other, and you had a major surgery down there. So I still had like pain and aches maybe like 5 years after having the surgery, but those were pretty minimal. But yeah, so I've been living quite normally until I had this infection. And then after that, they told me that my urethra was closing up, and it was just like getting smaller and smaller. So they had to do something, obviously. And oh God, I don't know. Like, I'm getting a bit emotional. It was kind of like scary, I would say, but the thing they had to do to open the urethra up, you have to dilate with a catheter, and like, it's quite embarrassing to talk about, and I feel like I need to make this video because it is really important, because this can happen after having the surgery, and it is important to remember that complications can happen even years after having the surgery. After that, they told me that I had to redo it after a few weeks, just because I couldn't keep on doing it because I thought that it was too painful and too traumatizing. So I went back to the doctors a few weeks after. However, this time I had like drugs. However, the drugs was nearly not as strong as I wanted them to be, so I still had pain. And then after that, they told me, like, cross our fingers, hopefully the problem is like forever gone. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. I went home and the first few times peeing, it was kind of normal. I still had somewhat trouble peeing, but for the most part, it was better. Then after like a month or so, the problem came back and it was like worse than ever. I woke up in the middle of the night having to pee and I just couldn't. Yeah, I can't explain it and I'm not going to try to because I'm embarrassed as it is. For the most part, I'm getting emotional because I'm like so embarrassed to talk about this, but I feel like it is really important to talk about. And even though it has been hard on me, I kind of feel like I need to tell you about this. Yeah. I called my doctors after the problem got worse, and he told me we need to have surgery. Like, you need to get surgery because this problem ain't going nowhere. We need to get rid of it, like the problem, once and for all. So we need to have surgery in about 3 weeks. And I was like pretty stunned. I was not prepared for him to say that we needed to have surgery so kind of out of the blue. I thought, even though I have been walking around with this problem for like a year, I didn't really expect to have surgery, especially not like 3 weeks away. However, when I got the date, it wasn't 3 weeks away. It was like 1 week away. I was kind of stunned by that. I wasn't prepared for that at all. It was kind of like a mild shock, so I had to get everything in order. And as I said, it was a very minimal surgery. It wasn't anything big at all. The surgery only took 15 minutes or like 10 to 15 minutes. It was very, very easy. What they did, they just had to make my urethra bigger. So that was like the surgery in full. So I got in at around 7 o'clock, as I said. I had the surgery 10 o'clock. I woke up at 12 o'clock and then I was out of the hospital after like 3 o'clock. But yeah, as I said, it was a very easy and minimal surgery, and I have talked to my doctor about everything, and he practically told me that I got the infection because I had the surgery, the SRS, 9 years ago. And I'm prone to get these rare infections just because I had the SRS 9 years ago. Since it is man-made and they can't know these things beforehand. And I'm not saying that I'm regretting my SRS. I would never say that. I'm so happy that I got the SRS. I'm so happy about my bottom surgery. I wouldn't regret it or like want to redo it ever. However, I think it's really important for you and for everyone else to know that getting the surgery and like transitioning as a whole, you need to rely on doctors and medications for the rest of your life, and things like this can happen every now and then. Like, it's not uncommon for complications to occur even years down the road. And I mean, look at me. I had complications when I had the surgery, and then I had a revision, and then everything was like quiet in that department. Everything was normal. However, now, so many years down the road, I started having problems, and this might happen again. They practically told me that once it has happened, it can happen again and again and again. And then I have to do more surgeries, which I'm not really happy about. So since nothing has really happened before, I've always talked about this, like, everything is going great, and it is going great kind of, but also like I feel like I need to tell you when something is also not going so great. So yeah, that is why I wanted to make this video, and I feel like I needed to. And yeah, I think this was everything I wanted to say. And also, I'm really, really, really sorry about the sun. I could not have foreseen this, like this whole situation going before I made this video. But yeah, don't forget to use my discount code Mathilda30 on cheese, and don't forget to click the link down below or in my description box. And I do really recommend getting an electric toothbrush from Cheese. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.